This is Platinum 1989, and this is my review for TNA Impact January 14th, 2010. Overall, I really enjoyed the show, and I think everything flowed very good with segments that have some kind of build towards something, one after the other, and commercial breaks most of the time during the night were at good moments. Now, first we start off with a great promo vid recapping what happened last week, and right away we got a great fucking amazing match to remember between Generation Me and Motor City Machine Guns. It was non-stop back and forth action, and I was fucking marking out so hard the whole time that it was like if I was at a live show. And seriously, it's a must-watch match for any fans of the X Division. And at first, I was honestly disappointed in the name change for the Young Bucks to Generation Me, but by the end of the freaking match, I was chanting Generation Me or whatever you want to call them. I was really into the match, and it was great. And they actually beat the Motor City Machine Guns. And then Mike Tenay, I think it was, that sold this as Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff opening that door and giving people chances. So it's like if they're behind the push for Generation Me. That's the way they're setting the story. We then saw the Nasty Boys still doing damage to Team 3D's room, and they were outside the room and couldn't get in. Then we see a Hulk Hogan video package announcing that an enormous star is joining the company at Genesis this Sunday. And I would freaking kill myself of happiness if it's someone like The Rock or even Goldberg. After that, we see a great promo by Kurt Angle putting over AJ Styles in the ring, and then AJ comes out and cuts a great promo as well. A really good promo by AJ at that. I was really impressed, and they really make me want to see another match, even if it's 3 days away, and we just had another their last match 10 days ago. But it really makes me look forward to that. And while AJ is going up the ramp, he's attacked by a masked man who reveals himself to be Tonko. And I would love an AJ and Tonko feud. These guys kind of had like a brief feud in 2008, but it never really resulted in a pay-per-view match. I think they did have a match on Impact, but that's about it. Next, we saw an interview with the band about Foley's whereabouts, and they're not saying nothing. They're keeping it a secret, and I really want Christy Hemme, not Bubba the Love Sponge. Next, we had a knockouts tag match with the beautiful Angelina Love in the crowd, and Khan and Hamada quickly took care of the beautiful people at Madison Rain and Velvet Sky. And then Angelina Love came into the ring and attacked Lacey Von Erich, and then surprisingly attacked Velvet Sky, which was like shocking to me. I didn't expect that, and she just kept saying something like, how can you think you're going to replace me and stuff like that. But I was really surprised to see that. But it's so great to see Angelina Love back in the Impact Zone. Of course, there were rumors that she would make it to the live show, and she didn't. Well, here she is. Glad to see her back. Then we see an enraged AJ go to Bischoff's office and demand the match with Tomko tonight. And Bischoff says that he'll only book the match if AJ is willing to put his World Heavyweight title on the line, which he does, so the match is booked. God, I can't wait for tonight's match. Next, we saw Beer Money looking for Bischoff, and JB is asking about Foley to Eric, and then Beer Money comes in, and they say that they want the Outsiders this Sunday at Genesis. Eric said that he'll think about it and tell them later. And God, seriously, every time Eric's on the mic or Eric is cutting a promo or whatever he is on screen, he is freaking gold. I just want to say that out loud. Next, we see Lethal Consequences attacked by Bobby Lashley, who still wants his release. I really am enjoying this angle since the rumors are that he's going to focus on MMA full-time. Team 3D comes out and finishes Consequences Creed off, and then they rant on the Nasty Boys being in TNA and complaining, basically, which most of us are pretty much doing about them being on screen. And they head towards the back with an axe, break into their room or whatever, and then get attacked from behind. Welcome to Nastyville, people. We then see a great package with Tonko explaining some of the history between AJ and him, and great stuff and memories going down that that lane. That was a whole different era in TNA. And we then hear what sounds like Godfather's music, and we see Sean Morley, aka Val Venus, cut a promo about TNA films, which pulls out Christopher Daniels, who then attacks him and complains about how he had to climb the ladder and this and that, and got fired twice, or got fired once, sorry. And then basically there's a beautiful BME, and then Morley eventually fights him off. And we see a package for an apparently best of 3 falls knockout match at Genesis, which Seriously, God kill me. I am not looking forward to this match at all. I expect it to be somewhat entertaining, but I'm not looking forward to it. Can they just move on this feud already, please? We see Jarrett heading to the ring with what looks like a possible lawyer. He never made it to the ring. He was headed somewhere else, apparently. Then we see Morgan and Supermax working out for their match against Beer Money, which was very good, and ended with interference by Rob Terry of the British Invasion, which I think is good build-up for this Sunday Genesis match against them. And then we saw the band make their way down the ramp, and a fight explodes between them and Beer Money. And Bischoff comes out and tells us that the match is booked for Sunday. Next, we have Samoa Joe versus Desmond Wolfe. I was really surprised to see these two locked up or whatever, put into a match, and the Pope was on commentary. Pope versus Desmond Wolfe this Sunday at Genesis. I cannot wait. I enjoyed their match last week. It was just too short, and now we're gonna get a pay-per-view match out of it, a rematch. I think Wolfe should go over, and then continue the feud, and maybe have Pope go over another month. Either way, I can't wait. So we got a good match between Joe and Wolfe. It was real short, and it was a nice finish, but it kind of felt weird that such a clean win over Joe on Impact Free TV between Samoa Joe and Desmond Wolfe, which could have been built up for a later date. We didn't need to have Desmond Wolfe go over Joe, but anyways, we see Flair arrive at the Impact Zone. Tomko talks more about AJ. Then Jarrett heads to Hogan's office and turns heel, downgrading and down-talking the roster. How he's the one that did it all on his own. And rumors are that last week he botched the direction of his promo and was feeding off the fans' response and didn't sound so much like a heel. And then Hogan got the heel heat when it was supposed to be the other way around. So it's good that he got the point across this time. And Eric re-explains to Jarrett that he needs to earn his spot like everyone else. And if it wasn't for Dixie Carter, his company would be in the shithole right now. So Hogan almost gets physical, which gets a pop from the crowd, which you could hear from backstage. And now next is our main event. Flair walks out to a remix of his music, dun dun, but it was like a remix. And he says in on commentary, AJ attacks Tomko before introductions are through. Angle comes out, hugs Flair, which was a very interesting moment to see. But thanks to commercial breaks at the wrong time, we didn't really see much of the AJ and Tomko match, and it was over before we knew it. And then we see AJ not shake Angle's hand and just walks off. And the show ends with a great package promoting Genesis, which seems to have a pretty good card, including Supermax and Morgan versus British Invasion for the tag titles. Tara versus ODB, best out of threes, which I'm not really looking forward to. Desmond Wolfe versus the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro. I'm looking forward to that so much. Amazing Red versus a mystery opponent. It's good to see the X Division back on, pay-per-view. And it's going to be very interesting to see who he faces. Maybe it will be the debuting superstar that Hogan is teasing. So I really look forward to that. We also have Beer Money versus the Outsiders. Some people don't want to see the Outsiders at all. But why not have Beer Money have a quick feud with a very legendary tag team in wrestling history. We also have Abyss versus Bobby Lashley. I guess Bobby Lashley asking for his release. They're throwing Abyss at him. And Abyss had a match with Bobby Lashley during the tournament, which he lost to Bobby Lashley. I don't even remember how he lost. I think someone hit him with a chair. That was in November. I'm not sure. And of course, I've probably missed a match or two, but AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle, the rematch. I'm looking forward to that. And I expect AJ to go over there. So either way, Genesis this Sunday, must-watch pay-per-view in my eyes. The problems from last week's Impact was time management, and this week's not going to have none of those problems. This Sunday is not going to have none of those problems. 3 hours, commercial-free television. What more do you guys want? And like I said, somebody huge seems to be debuting. Also, just to wrap up tonight's Impact Talk, I really liked the flow of it. I really liked every time Eric Bischoff was on screen. Every segment had proper build-up towards something, at least every segment before commercials, and they didn't really waste any airtime, too much airtime. And I really liked the way the show flowed. My only problem was one of my major problems was with the main event, that It was really, it got all the great build up that it needed and all that stuff. But the actual main event, we got so many commercial cuts and stuff like that. I don't know. I think if TNA goes live every Monday, which I hope they do consider doing, for sure. Rumors are, suggesting that that might be the case. But maybe Spike TV should allow commercial-free main events every single week, and maybe, just maybe, um, that could set the tone for the rest of the year. Mr. Platinum in 1989 out. I really enjoyed Impact, and also they're teasing this as Angle's last shot at the title for 2010. Peace, guys.